Yeah, recording have started. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. We welcome each one of you. By the way, I strongly believe that your day was very nice. You were busy carrying out your daily activity. We too are fine, and each time you have appointment with you, we are eager to meet you. You have an interchange of safety, health, security, environment tidbits. Our masterclass that started almost 10 days ago is gradually coming to its end. And today is going to be a pre-ultimate section. That is the section before the last. And today's course is really important as well, as we said it. It's going to be the overall of all we have studied, except one course. That is course number 102. So tonight, we're going to see course 109. If you have your manual very well, you notice that course 109 is the melting of all other courses. It helps you. Once you follow carefully this course, it will be able to prepare you for what is waiting for you ahead. That is your exam. Now we have planned everything to invite our lecturer. Mr. Sam is coming from Canada. He gave us a sign that he's going to be present. So as we know, time must be respected. That's why we always encourage you to be here on time. So we will not waste your time, neither waste our own time. Having said this, we want to give you opportunity. Yesterday we had course 106. Course 106 is a very one of the largest of the courses. Course 106, how to handle specific risk, how to deal with specific risk at workplace. We are very happy that the ending was very exciting because each one of you or majority of you bring out from his treasure what you have as experience, as inputs. And at the end, everybody left happy, though few remained till the end. So before we admit a lecturer, we want to give you opportunity so that maybe you have a question pending, you have an input regarding what has been studied all over those days till yesterday. So then we want to open the interactive session whereby you have opportunity to intervene before the main class started. But by the way, it's always good to give honor to who it is due. Unanimously, all of us elected our excellency, her excellency, the governor at the beginning. So it's always good that whenever she's present, she have a say. And being a woman, here they often say what women want, cause approve. I don't know if it is true. Sometimes it's not true. Nevertheless, in her rank of the class governor, I want to welcome her, not only welcome her, but give her the floor so that she may intervene. That is Madam Olaleye. So good evening, Madam.
Good evening, Mr. Leon. Good evening, Madam Els, and everybody online. Yes, I hope we had a nice day. And we thank God for gradually bringing this program to a close. Thank you, the organizers, for the job well done. My network yesterday was so bad that I couldn't really see what I wanted to say at last, but thank God that everything went well. Really appreciate you. And we appreciate all the lecturers that have been lecturing us from the start. And I believe that we will not disappoint. Yes, we can't wait to receive today's lecture. And I believe that tomorrow, we shall give back. Thank you very much. Let me not waste much of our time. And I also want to thank everybody, my co-classmates that have elected me, that we have been so cooperating You've been very, very cooperating. Thank you very much. Thank you. And I believe that I didn't disappoint, and I will not disappoint till the end. Thanks a lot. Yeah, let's continue. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. By the way, please permit me, in your reports, you need to mention to your company that you have been elected as the governor of the session. Then as a governor, you need to stipulate what your rule were and how you handle it, so that maybe in the near future you might be a real governor in your state.
All right, I'll remember to do that, sir.
Okay. Because we all learn by having responsibility. Thank you very much. So who else want to intervene? Thank you. We really had you. Who else want to give you opportunity? Okay, yes, that's very good hand. I don't know if it is a man or a woman, but I know that it's a woman. She's a woman. Good evening, madam. Please, you can unmute yourself.
Good evening. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, madam.
Yes, sorry, I have a question.
That's very
and I would like you to help me.
Okay.
And answer. Okay, I have a friend that goes to work. Let's say he resumes work by 8 o'clock in the morning, and then he closes around 8 o'clock in the evening. And his nature of his job is to actually sit and then post some jobs online. So he's always sitting down, like from that 8 o'clock till the 8 in the evening. And then let's say their break time, they have just 1 hour break. And that's just 1 hour. So from 8 o'clock to 8 o'clock in the evening is sitting down. So if you can actually give me an advice, like any advice to, give him so as to reduce the risk, of maybe getting backache or, any of those possible incidents or something like that.
So this is your question, right?
Sorry, yeah. I need advice.
I understand what she is asking. So solutions for people who have a sedative job. So that's not the right word. Yeah. A sitting job, anyway. So if you want to know more about desk ergonomics, there is a presentation in the forum.
I could have loved that the answer comes from the student.
I didn't answer anything yet. I just said that there is a presentation in the forum that they can consult.
Because
I'll stop talking now. Go ahead.
No, not stop talking. You can't stop talking. What I mean is that her question is addressed to the class. Then we prefer that the first answer will come from the student, because what the problem she asked, or the underlying problem from her situation lies on the course that have been done. So for the student to assess what they have learned, we prefer that they answer first. And I believe everybody had her question, and else was emphasizing a problem that the person does sitting job for a very prolonged hour. She wants an advice for such a friend. So who is going to start with? First of all, what safety hazard has been highlighted? Okay, I have muted him. So the question is thrown to you, class. Somebody is disturbing us with her background. Now, we will not call Madam Osinachi first, because she has been one of the most active and contributor to the class. We know that she is always ready. But let's ask for some new hand first. Now, finally, if there is no new hand, we will be obliged to call on her. And let me tell you, this might be one of your exam questions. So, which means you ought to answer. You all need to raise up your hand. So, who else If you did not raise up your hand, then I will be obliged to designate you. Right? Yes. I will choose. Let me start from Mr. Teslim. Mr. Teslim, good evening. Please, can you unmute yourself? You want to provide answer, solution to problem raised by Oni and Eze. So we start from Mr. Salim. All of us will be waiting for him until he mute himself. It might take him many minutes. We will keep on waiting. Okay. Do not cheat from
the sir you asked is driving.
No, okay, no, he's not the one driving.
Ah, Taslim is driving, so
okay,
he cannot answer.
Okay, he's the one driving. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, then let's call on Madam, I don't know if it is a man or woman, Folusho. Folusho. I believe Folusho is not driving. So Folusho, please, can you unmute yourself?
Hello.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah.
Good evening, Mr. Leon.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. I want to say that I mean, to contribute to what to the question that she has asked.
Yes.
At least stand up, maybe to walk around after every 2 hours to regain himself. Try and do something else, at least like every 2 hours, so that he can recover from any staying work that requires that you want us to sit down for a long time, maybe tasking if one stay in that position for a long time. Such a person should at least stand up every 2 hours, walk around, then ourselves. So that's what I want to advise.
Okay, thank you very much for providing the solution. You know, it's always good to try. It's always good to show face, right? Thank you. We really appreciate that you bring part of the solution. Now, before we go, we call on Mr. Francis Ume, who is one of the active members in the class also. Let us give justice to who it is due. He raised up her hand first. Madam Osinashi.
Okay.
Raised up her hand. Before we call on Mr. Madam Osinashi first. Madam Goldin Osinashi, now you can unmute yourself.
Mr. Folusho, you can mute yourself again, please.
Yeah. Now, Osinashi have the floor. Sorry, we can't hear you, madam.
I think she's still connecting because not everything shows.
No, she unmute herself, which means she's.
Yeah, but normally you can see stuff, but.
Yeah, I see that she's muted, unmuted. I mean. Okay, then we go back to Mr. Francis, Mr. Ume, not Mr. Francis, Mr. Ume.
Okay, good evening once more.
Good evening.
Okay. Okay, from the descriptions I've given, it's almost like a 12-hour job. And having to sit down for a stretch of 12 hours, I think that would be a whole lot of problems with just 1 hour break. So I think the way the sitting arrangement is, the desk and the chair that he uses, is very important. I think that's where the ergonomy comes in. He should make sure as much as possible that that he's using a chair that sits him up straight instead of on a slanty position whereby maybe the spinal cord would be in a slanty position. Then in addition to that, I also think that it's not out of place for him to also occasionally move around just to aid the circulation of blood in the system. So I think the lighting position, okay, well, she said to avoid back pain. So I think ergonomics is the main thing there, the sitting position. And so from time to time, stand up just to ensure that the blood circulation is also appropriate. I think that's what I can also add to it.
Thank you very much for providing a solution as well. First of all, I was tempted to ask the person that asked the question, what has he provided to her friend? Because we want to hear her own mind as well, being a student of his class. Or what the question, what can she provide as solution to that friend? We want to hear from you as well. Normally, we could have started from you. Yeah. We are very sorry, we can't hear you.
I think network has taken over.
Your network is sleeping. Your network is sleeping. So maybe either you address it as a question tag. Please, we can't hear you because your network.
Oh, please do not be sorry.
Madam Eze, your network is so bad, is so poor that we can't hear you. So what you do, maybe later on you put it as a writing in the chat box. So why I ask such a question, that when we know your mind, it will help us because you are the one to convey a reliable solution to that your friend. It's good that you ask such a question, but knowing your mind it will help us to convince you for what you know or to adjust your mind to what you're supposed to know to help her. On the way, the first students have mentioned, those two students have mentioned what the problem is about. And when you look at the chat box, else have dropped this ergonomic file there. And by the way, even yesterday we mentioned Mr. Sami during his lecture mentioned ergonomic. Course 106 talk about ergonomic. Course 104 also talk about ergonomic, and many courses talk about ergonomic. So remember,
yes, can I just say a small correction? It was a very good thinking, good thinking of the first person who answered the question. I forgot who exactly that was.
Was for Lucio.
For Lucio, there was a very good answer, but it's actually more frequent. It's like 20-30, every 20-30 minutes you need to get up and stretch your body or make a turn so everything stays flexible, do a dance. It should be possible.
Even as we are here, we're supposed to do some body movement. Remember, during my course, I put it in writing that do not forget to make the body movement, you see. So this is what we all need to do. And you can make good use of the file that's in the chat box it will help you to get convinced of what you know. So thank you very much for contributing. And by the way, we appreciate once you are decisive. Do not feel shy. No, safety is not about to be shy, but safety is for agile people. Therefore, we thank you very much for your attitude. Now, just a minute that, yes, okay, you want to say something?
Yeah, sorry for interrupting. So the file is just an example of what the forum has to offer. There are lots of files like that. And I'm sorry, but my computer is going to reboot in 4.5 minutes and I cannot stop it. So I'm going away. I'll be back soon.
Okay, thanks very much. What I want to say is that, yes, by exactly 6:30, we're going to start our lecture. But you know one thing about we as the instructor, we always have the main instructor and the backup instructor. And the difference between the two instructors, there is no difference. When we say main instructor or backup, there is no difference. We all adhere to the same standard, that is high quality standard instruction. The only what make a difference between the main and the backup or the assistance is unforeseen occurrences. That is, if it happens, by all means, the main instructor will not be available, not by his own will, but by due to situation beyond his knowledge. So we would have loved that you be in contact with Mr. Sam, because we have publicly watered your mouth, watered your appetite as you meet him. But you know, the weather condition does not allow him right now. Mr. Sam is in Canada, and we were in communication with, we were in touch. We have provided everything. So tonight you'll be opportune to listen from one of our best, one of our best instructor as well. But this time, it's not Mr. Sam, but is an engineer. Let us all welcome Richmond Jonas. Mr. Richmond Jonas, permit me to say something. He have accumulated over 20 years working with all those giant companies, namely Bolloré. When we talk of Bolloré, there is no one in Africa that doesn't know Bolloré company. They are in every seaport, both in dry port and seaport in almost all countries in Africa. Mr. Richmond Jonas is graduated in the industry of safety, and he have worked for a lot of companies. He set up his own company also, and he's an international company. He's one of our powerhouse, you know. So tonight you're going to be privileged as we welcome him in. So Shaman, here you are, you have the floor. You know that you're gonna pilot us with a moderate speed, because having the strong man, you always fly with intensity. But we hand ourselves into your hand as you have the floor. So once again, welcome.
Thank you, my good brother, for allowing me today to do a presentation. Like I said earlier on, I'm just praying that I don't go off, because my network has not been stable for me since we started this course. So I've not been able to stay on for a long time. So
yes, we will back you up.
Yes. Yeah, I'm just trying to share my screen. Just a few minutes. I've been following a few of the classes and all is well.
Yes, of course.
And I know the students are also, learning hardly. Although the question time or the recap time, they are not asking many questions so far. And there's a saying that after a presentation and no one is asking a question, it means everybody has understood. Meaning whatever we are doing or we started doing from Monday up to date is in line and everybody is really capturing whatever we are presenting. So today our topic is on our model 109 and the title is Workplace Health and Safety. So far, all that we've done talks about hazards, risk, control, but this time around, I'm going to be more practical on the field. Yes, I know delegates will be asking for the slides. The slides, these particular slides were taken duly from the model. So don't worry. If only you have studied the model, you could see that all the write-ups are directly from the models. So the content we are going to treat today is the safety law, health and hygiene, recognizing safety hazards, which we did yesterday, part of it, manual handling, hazardous substances, noise in workplaces, measuring noise, machine and equipment safety guides, personal protective equipment, working in confined spaces, emergency procedure, evacuation, and revision goes on. So let's start. Health and Safety at Work Act 1974. The safety law, who is responsible for making the workplace safe? Somebody will say, oh, it's the work of the safety officer, or it's the work of the safety manager. Now, if the safety manager is not at the place where you are working, what happens? Does it mean that there's no safety? Or does it mean that things has to be done anyhow? We have some of the workers who always want to see manager or supervisor around before they intend to do the right thing. My question is it a good behavior? Our Queen of Safety took us through the health and safety culture. And I believe we learned that even without the presence of the manager or the supervisor or the coordinator or whoever who has a higher position than us, we still need to do the right thing and make sure things are done right. In that case, the question here goes, who is responsible for making the workplace safe? Employers' responsibilities, employees' responsibilities. Now, it is the responsibility of the employer to make sure that employees are trained on the specific jobs they are supposed to handle or attending to. Train on the kind of equipment that they are using. That is what we call on-job training. Now, the next aspect of the employers is to provide the right equipment for the staff to use. Let us not talk about cheap things, or let us not talk about inferior goods or equipment. Let's talk about quality equipment. So if you are here with us and you are a decision maker and your employers come to you that they need equipment and you ask them to go for 4 or 5 invoices for you to select the lowest price, which is the cheaper one, and it will give you a cheaper quality, then know that you end up buying 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 times that price instead of choosing the quality. If a machine is costing $1,000 and another one is costing $500, and because you want to cut corners or reduce cost, so you buy the 500 naira worth of equipment, you end up buying about 5 of that equipment within a year or 2. Meaning, if you have sacrificed to buy that 1,000 naira of equipment, it will save you for about 5 years, or even less, 2 or 3 years. But now you end up buying $500 dollars of equipment, which you end up buying about 3, 4, or 5 more. So if you should do a calculation, buying the cheaper one and buying the higher price with a high spec of quality, which one is best or better? So employers have a responsibility to take care of. The same way employers have the responsibility to make sure that they provide the appropriate PPEs for their staff to use. Make sure that they follow that hierarchy of control, elimination, substitution, right down to the use of PPE. It's the responsibility of employers to make sure the right thing is done. Now the employee's responsibility is that when these things are provided, it is their responsibility to take a reasonable care to make sure that this equipment does not deteriorate within the shortest time. It is their duty to make sure that this equipment are used in the right way and in the right manner. You don't use a screwdriver as a chisel, because screwdrivers are not made as a hardening or tempered tool that can be used as a chisel. When you go to the workshop, we have a lot of people, instead of them going for a chisel to use, they just look around, they find a flight screwdriver and they start hammering on the head as they are using a chisel. And they end up breaking the handle of the screwdriver. So the Work and Safety Act 1974 says that any employee who destroys any of these safety equipment must be penalized. So it is the duty of the employees to make sure that when tools, equipment, PPEs, all these things are provided to them, it is their duty to make sure that they take a very good care of these items. We have people stepping at the back of their safety boots. It's a very bad habit. It's not a good culture. We have people wrapping coverall, the top of the coverall at their waist level and tie it. It's not a very good habit. How do you ensure effective workplace safety, safe machines and materials, safety equipment, safety guards, chemicals stored separately, safety signs, occupational health and safety committees, safe machines and materials. This is the case where you see machines installed with their cables moving here and there. As we learned yesterday, these equipment cables that are moving here and there will form as a trip hazard to the occupants of that environment. So machines should be kept very clean at a very safe place, where in case of an emergency, where especially people are working at night and there is light out, they will not just run into the machine and get hurt. It should be out of the way. The cables that are used to install the machines has to be properly insulated and out of the grounds or out of the way, where people will not have access to trip and fall. Working materials like tools and other things will have to be kept free from the working environment. So we have what we call clean as you work. When you are following clean as you work procedure, for instance, our women who are with us here, in your kitchen, you peel onion, put it on the floor, you peel this, put it on the floor, you peel that, put it on the floor. Before you finish cooking, all your surroundings are full of rubbish. This kind of habit is not safety compliance, and we don't accept this kind of behavior or attitude. Anytime you peel anything straight, it has to go into the dustbin. You don't put it on the floor or on the table with the aim that when you finish everything, you come back and sweep or clean. So you clean as you work, meaning the tools you are using. If you pick a tool from box A to work, after working with that tool, place it back in box A before you go to box B to pick another tool. You don't pick a tool from box A. After working, you leave it just around you. Go to box B, pick a tool, leave it around you. Go to box C, pick a tool, leave it around you. Before you finish or in the middle of your work, you'll be surrounded with tools. And in case of emergency, or even you going out to pick water and drink or going to urinate or something, these very tools that have surrounded you will end up being a trap for you, because you are going to trip and fall on this very tool. And if you don't take care, this very tool is going to injure you. Safety equipment like fire extinguishers on our premises. What I know is some of the staff would intentionally operate the fire extinguisher. When you ask them, they will tell you that they are trying it and see if they are working. Fire extinguishers are not sugar. They are not gari or rice, where you go to market and you say, oh, let me try and see if it has a good taste before I buy it. You don't try fire extinguishers. The same way safety equipment, you don't mess up with them. The Act says anyone who mess up with safety equipment have to be penalized. It can end up with a dismissal of your appointment. And
We just lost him. It's exactly what was happening to Sam from Canada and the assistant, the backup also. But we're gonna have patience because it's a network issue. Nevertheless, as he said in the introduction, course number 109 is tailored to draw a student, to draw out the student, to draw you to be more interactive than the instructor. That's why it is follow exactly as your manual is. Okay, okay, you can continue. Yeah, please. You are welcome.
Yeah, thank you. The network went off again.
Yes, we understand.
Yeah. Thank you for taking over for me. Yeah, regards to safety guards, we have a lot of machines that have safety guards. Let me give a very nasty example, which we are all familiar with. We can all attest to it that our ceiling fans doesn't have any safety guards. Why? Because all the ceiling fans are above our reach. It's not easy for you to just raise your hand and get to the ceiling fan. But all standing fans have a guide around it. So that mesh around the standing fan is what we are talking about when we talk about safety guards. So anybody who have seen a standing fan with a mesh around the blade, that mesh around the blade is what we are talking about. That is the safety guard. When we talk about sewing machines, you could see that the rotating part, the round portion, there is a guard on top of it. That is what we are talking about. That is the safety guard. Those who are used to going to the workshop, you see a hand grinding machine that has a round protective material around it. I'll show a video on some of these guards, which practically we'll see them and we'll be familiar with them. These are the guards we are talking about. The law is saying that these safety guards should not be removed in its place. When they are removed in its place, it serves as a danger for the users because it can injure the user or even end up killing the user at the end of the day if anything goes wrong. So safety guards must always be in place on any equipment that you are using that has the guard. It's the same way as driving. If you are driving or if you are sitting in a vehicle and you are not wearing your seat belt, it means you have removed your safety guard. In that case, if the vehicle somersaults or the vehicle gets involved in any accident or collision or a crash, you will be affected badly. Either you will be removed from the vehicle onto the ground, or you will hit the forefront of your head to the windscreen or to the front seat ahead of you or to the side, or anything at all can happen to you. When we are talking about safety guards, then these are some of the guards that we are talking about. I know in Nigeria, we have a lot of motor riders in Nigeria. If you are riding motor and you are not wearing your helmet, if you are not wearing your protective jackets, then it means you have removed your safety guards. You are not safe as you are on that motorbike. So the very moment you decide to go on the motorbike, you must also decide to put on your safety guards. And your safety guards are your helmet and your body jackets. Chemicals stored separately. If chemicals are not stored separately, they end up creating an atmosphere of friction. And when it comes to this level, I don't become so excited, but our mother on board, our safety queen, always remembers me of a question that I need to ask the delegates. What happens
and then he falls away again? This network is stressful. Eh? I guess he was going to ask a question, but it's so amusing when he does that. Eh? I don't want to step into his footsteps when he maybe comes back to us. What do you think, Leon? Should we wait a few minutes for him?
Yes, let's give him a few minutes. If the network is still worse, we continue from here. I will be obliged to share the screen.
Yeah, now he's completely gone. You have the presentation with you, or should I?
Yes, okay. Of course. Yes, of course. I have two presentations with me. The one Sam has sent, because Sam was really ready back then, but network issue. So let me share one of the screen. Which one? Yeah, okay, here we are. Please, oh, I didn't share my screen. Let me share the screen first. Share screen. Yeah. Please, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay.
SMSE, yes.
Yeah, it is Sam's screen, and oh, sorry, I'm not in the same page with you.
Yeah.
No, I want to be the
same to your body.
Yes, I want to see the same stage as Richmond were before. So yeah, okay, this is. He was talking about safety sign. No. Yes, he was talking about safety. He was talking about safety signs, whereby he was making an illustration with a motorcycle, right? And he was referring to Nigeria, but not only to Nigeria, but it's for everywhere. Okay. Oh, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Leon, for standing in for me.
Okay, you are back. Okay, yeah, that's good. Let me stop my screen.
Let's all pray for me so that I don't go off again.
Yeah, do not worry.
Yeah, you can leave your screen sharing on, Mr. Leon, if that is no problem for you.
No, let me off my screen so that if I do not off my screen, it will be disturbance for him as well. So please, because I am seeing his own screen, not my screen here.
I think.
So Richmond, you can continue, sir.
The problem is not Mr. Leon. Yeah, okay. Please, did somebody answer the question?
No, we were about to ask a question when you come in about the motorcycle, right?
They didn't hear the question, Mr. Richmond.
Okay, anybody answer the question for me?
No, you asked the question.
You have to ask the question still.
If you put a male and a female in a locked room,
we are following you.
What will happen? The probability if you put a male and a female in a locked room. I need an answer from the delegates.
Yes, they will raise up their hand and call upon them.
Mr. Leon, you can call anybody to answer for me, please.
You have Madam Janet Olaleya, our governor.
Janet.
Yes, Janet.
What will happen if a male and a female is in a room?
Madam Janet.
Yes, please. Can you hear me?
Yes, please. We are following you.
Yes. What will happen if a male and a female is locked in the room depends on the relationship between the male and the female. It depends on the relationship between the male and the female. The male and the female might be brothers, they might be lovers, they might be friends. So it depends. It's either they have carnal knowledge of themselves, see they are lovers, that's if they want to. And they can just sleep and nothing happen. So it depends on the relationship between them.
Okay, thanks for your trial. Mr. Richmond, hope you have her answer. But meanwhile, we still have another hand. We have this time the question is asked in the limelight of hazard and risk, right? So in our answer, let us try to use the technical term that we studied, because this is the objective of the question, to bring out those technical terms that you have learned. Okay, we have also Madam Osinachi. Madam Osinachi, raise up her hand.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we are hearing you, Madam.
Okay, he asks if you lock a male and a female in a room, what will happen?
Yes.
There is nothing that will happen more than what natural thing can happen. When you lock a male and a female in a room, whether they are brothers or whether they are sisters, anything can happen. I don't want to mention what will happen, but the natural thing will happen, because that sex, the both sex are not supposed to be together. The both sex are not supposed to be together. Whether you are having feelings or you are not having feelings, I think that is my own. I don't want to mention the what exactly that will happen, but the natural thing will take place when you lock a male and a female in one room. Thank you.
Exactly. Thank you. So I think this is the point the lecturer wants to bring out. That is the probability, because before asking the question, he was talking about the probability of accident to happen. That's why he was making a reference to a motorcycle that refused, that did not put on his helmet or his safety jacket. So the probability to happen is higher, as well as the probability of shocking, I don't know how we call it, shocking or light shocking, when the opposite sex is in a closed door. So this is the point he wants to raise out. So coming back to our subject, when we ignore safety signs, the probability to get injured, the probability to get to have accident, is it high or lower? Is the question. Can raise up your hand.
Come again, sir. Come again, sir.
So the question is, the point he wants to drive home from the illustration of a female and a male in a room is that the probability for shocking themselves is higher. Likewise, a motorcycle that drives or that rides that rides his bicycle or bike without safety sign like helmet and safety jacket, the probability for him to have an injury is higher. That's why the question is asked, if we ignore safety sign, what will happen? This is the question.
Well, if we ignore safety signs, it's going to be hazardous. There is a lot of hazards that will happen when you ignore safety signs. It's there, it's stated there. So many things going to happen. Accidents will happen on the process.
Exactly. So this is the point we want to drive home. So once again, do not ignore safety sign. Please. Okay. I'm trying to see my screen. Something happened. Okay. What happened? Please, can you see my screen? I can't see.
Yeah, you're showing a lot of pictures, nothing more.
Yeah. Even my Zoom tag, I can't see anything. So sorry, please, a minute. Something. Even myself, I can't see anybody from the Zoom meeting. Just a graph. Just a minute. Oh my God. So let me stop my screen first. Okay, now. Yeah, it's okay. Now let me share the screen once again. So here we were. Okay, hope you can see the screen back. So we were with safety, we were dealing with safety sign. The importance of somebody raise up her hand or last symbol at them. Okay, you can unmute yourself as we continue. You can unmute yourself and answer.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
I think what I raised my hand earlier before the thing shut down, or I don't know what.
Okay.
Yes, I just wanted to say that he likely needs to a man riding a bike without his helmet or his safety jacket, likely to a man and a woman being locked in a room, is trying to say that the probability of something to happen between the man and the woman is very high. Just that the probability of something wrong to happen for a man that is riding without safety gadget is very high. That's
exactly. Right. Yeah, this is what I was saying before my screen just move on.
Yes, sir.
So the point here is that two people, there is a hands up for Lucia. Okay, Mr. Folusha, your hand is up as well. You can unmute yourself. I think for the same, yes.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. Concerning this, concerning what question, what I would like to say is that we should everyone should be cautious in everything that we do. Our safety, we should not be that so very sure that nothing is going to happen. Just like the illustration of when we have a woman and a man in a room, there's possibility that nothing will happen, as everybody will say. But normally, the natural thing will occur. Now, in the sense of safety, he's trying to say that we are trying to say that we should not be too sure that things will go according to plan. You may be on a machine, and the thing that you don't have planned for will just happen suddenly. So we should be cautious. What they call it, the safety guards should be put in the appropriate position, so that in case of any eventuality, one will be on the safer side. I think that's what that is what is the person is trying to say. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. So the point here is that we should not either deliberately or unknowingly ignore safety signs. This is what the point is about.
Yes.
Because ignoring the safety sign is making a probability to happen high. So there is no self-confidence as far as safety is concerned. This is the point home. It's not what will happen, what will not happen. It's not a matter of overconfidence. That's why he used the illustration of a male opposite sex. There is no overconfidence there. So ignoring safety sign is completely disastrous. Okay, we move on. Here we have an occupational health and safety committee. As we said earlier, this course is meant to drive you home, to draw from you what we have learned so far. Who should be members of health and safety committees? Who are those people that should be members of health and safety committees? It's also a question. It's a question as well. Yeah, 2 people raise up their hand. The point is, okay, we have a Mr. James Gayos. Mr. James Gayos, you can unmute yourself and answer.
Okay, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
The people that are supposed to be involved in the safety committee, the employers themselves, that's the MDs, the managers, the supervisors of each, I believe, almost all the departments, not I believe, all the departments, and some of the workers in the organizations, and the safety managers as well, and the safety supervisors.
Okay, thank you for your answer. So the second person can unmute himself as well. From my side, I can't see participants.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes.
I think he has spoken my mind. It should be line up of the managers, supervisors, the employers, the safety officers. In short, might spoken.
Okay. I'm trying to see the home page here. It seems that one of the co-hosts restrict me from, I can't see, okay. Now let me off this one. Please, can you mute yourself?
Let me tell my friends, it's not me you told, because me, I was already when you was drinking.
Please try to mute yourself.
Not said later.
Bola, can you mute yourself?
Okay, you are back.
Hello.
Bola, can you mute yourself for us?
I've muted him.
Yes, sir. Please mute yourself. We are hearing all the conversation.
Okay, I've muted him. Okay, now I see the read page now. Now I can see my own screen and the participant. Before I can't see them. Even somebody is at the door. Okay, we move on.
That your colleague isn't lose concentration while sweating. It should prompt you that something is going wrong. It means the person is undergoing some form of stress. Changes in the behavior or mood of the person.
Somebody is talking to us.
You get to the office, you crack jokes, you do things together.
No, he's playing something else. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I think that is a live demonstration of what happens when you lock up a man and a woman in the same room.
Yeah, so he was playing a background. That's why it is. So now let me share my screen when we continue. Now I've seen the read page now. Let me share my screen. What I see. Okay, yeah. I hope you can.
Mr. Leon, if you don't mind, you can.
Hi. You caught me from your side?
Yeah, I was saying if you don't mind, you can co-host me to share. Continue.
Okay. Let me share.
Or because of the on and off, you carry on so that I can just add up some few things.
Let me close. Many tabs are open in my side. That's why I can't see exactly what is going on. Let me try to close them. Okay. Let me co-host you quickly. Right. Okay. I can't see you. Okay, yeah, I've seen you. Let me share the screen afresh. So many tabs were open for Okay. You can carry on,
Mr. Leon, where were you?
No. We just finished with safety sign from your illustration. The point home was nobody should ignore safety sign. Now we are about to deal with the Occupational Health and Safety Committee. And the question was asked, who should be members of safety committee? And I believe 2 or 3 people have answered. Now you can carry on, sir. Let me arrange my screen. So back to you.
Thank you. Now, so safety signs must not be ignored. Once you ignore safety signs, you go to the ditch. Imagine you are traveling or you go to the mall and you want to ease yourself. You just get to the place and there is a female sign and a male sign on the left. You did not watch and you are a male and you just entered into the female washroom and you go to meet the female there. How will you feel? The same way, you are a female, you did not watch the sign at the doorpost, you just entered, then you went to meet this male there urinating. How will you feel? So you see that signs are very useful and we have different signs, different types of signs. We have caution sign, we have warning sign, and we have regulatory sign. And we have emergency sign. All these signs are very, very important, which we must obey. And they all comes in different colors as well. And the colors also are useful to give us a signal of which kind of sign this particular symbol is talking of. Occupational health and safety committees, like he said, who and who are supposed to be part of the committee. In an organization, if you are having different departments, at least you should get one member from each department to come together to form that safety committee. The reason is that that member must report from his or her department to the committee how things are going. So it is very important and necessary that you get each member from each department to form that committee. The safety manager or the safety supervisor is also part of the committee. And a board member or a member from the management side must also be a member of the committee so that he or she can carry the information from the committee to the management board. Safe working practices. When we are talking about safe working practices, then we are looking at the use of the hierarchy of control.
Hello? Then you better off your screen, then we continue from here. Okay, so it's better that way. Do not share your screen again. Please permit me to share my screen and we move from here. It's better. Hope my screen is. Sorry, I opened many tabs. Okay. He need to close his screen over there before I can do anything else. If not, he can't move. Mr. Richmond, we can't hear you at all. We can't hear you at all.
Oh, okay. Is it okay?
Yeah, it's okay now.
Yeah.
Hello.
Job rotation is very necessary when we have certain jobs where you'll be standing for maybe 3-4 hours doing repetitive work. In that case, a job rotation can be assigned. Maybe you stand there for 1 hour, another person will come for 1 hour. So every 1 hour you rotate, every 1 hour you rotate. The other person will go for break for 1 hour, come back 1 hour, you also go for break. It's very healthy and it's very useful. Within the period of 8 hours, you could achieve more. And in that case, the case of absenteeism or the case of hospitalization is going to be reduced. But if you should allow one person to stay or stand for 4-3 hours on the feet doing repetitive work, you see that within a month, this person will report to the clinic or the hospital for about 2 or 3 times before the month ends. And if you don't take care, if this person goes to the hospital, this person will be given an excuse duty to stay at home for a day or 2. So in that case, giving that person that room of job rotation, which this person will not be reporting to the hospital more than a month. And without giving a job rotation, and this person will be reporting to the hospital in 1 or 2 or 3 times in a month. Which one do you think is beneficial? Now, standard operating procedures, which we normally call SOPs. These are documents that are very necessary for workers to use as a tool. We just spoke about chemicals. If an organization does not have a procedure on chemical handling, you have workers storing fuel and flammable materials, explosive materials in the same room. I was offline by then, but I know you have answered the question I asked previously, which answers what I'm saying now. If you put a petrol or super gasoline in a room and you put dynamite or ammonia or any of these explosive chemicals also in the same room, what do you think will happen at the end of the day? It's not going to be palatable. So the organization must have a procedure, a written down procedure, whereby if staff A is not there, staff B can come and read the procedure and continue. When I was offline, my brother Leon was able to share my slide because all the admins on this platform have the same slide as I have. So even if I go offline, I don't mind because I know they can continue with the job that I'm supposed to do. The same way, anything they are supposed to present, if they are not there, any of us can present because we have the slides. So in that case, when procedures are written down to the staff, anybody that comes can follow that procedure. In that sense, there's no way there's going to be injury, near miss, or accidents unless something's wrong. And if something goes wrong, the Act allows for review of that procedure to check the lapses that is in the procedure that is causing that near miss, incident, or accident. Facilities for workers, lunch rooms.
Lunch room has gone to lunch. Once again, we are very sad that his network is not steady. Nevertheless, this will not discourage us, as he have mentioned. Let me quickly share my screen from here. We need to continue. You can see. Oh, sorry, just a minute, give me a minute. Share screen share. Okay. I think we were here. Safe working practice. Was talking about, has talked about lunchroom facility for workers. In every company, it is always the standard set it clear that workers should have their lunchroom. And lunchroom is designed, as it is said, for lunch or for each purpose. I mean, it's very sad that, especially in Africa, once again in Black Africa, things were not respected. We see when everything will be packed in the lunchroom. What even you will see, you'll be surprised to see some PPE drop anyhow in the lunchroom, which is not the best practice. There is a statement that everything in each place and each place for everything. I think this is how it is put. One thing for each place, a place for an item for each place, and a place for an item. The advantage of having everything set at proper place is, first, it becomes less hazardous. Imagine that the walkway is blocked and there is an emergency. Will the road be a safe road? Definitely the answer is no. Therefore, always have the habit of setting proper items in each place, including people. Hope you are following, or hope you are seeing my screen. I can't see it.
I'm sorry, Mr. Leon, are you still there?
Please, can you hear me?
Now we can hear you. It was quiet just now.
Use my screen? No.
No, we can't see your screen. We can only see your name.
Ah, it's a crap. Okay, I can see why. Now you can see my screen.
Yes, now we can. Thank you.
Okay, I'm very sorry. A lot of messages keep on coming. Wait, let me. Many tabs open.
You cannot help, eh? You cannot help the network, unfortunately.
And again, many tabs were open in my desktop, so I have to close them because they are misleading me. Now we continue. I can see clearly now. So the point here is every place should be designed for its purpose. And even the same thing applies in our home and in our kitchen. You know, there are some people, sadly, when you pay them visit, whether it is a planned visit or a simple visit, that you do not prevent them that you are coming. You will be surprised to see how the sitting room is. Sometimes you see children, they will finish eating, but they'll drop the plate anyhow in the table, even in some armchair or furniture, you see some cloth. This is not a proper habit. When it comes to the workplace also, your workplace needs to be very safe. That's why each office is designed for a purpose. If it is a library, it should only be for library purpose. If it is for rest room, it should be for rest room purpose. If it is a conference hall, it should be for conference hall. Those facilities make it easier for workers and they carry out their work safely. This is the purpose of a lunchroom. Must keep on its own purposes. So we continue with information, instruction, and training. We cannot stop saying that this is the heart of every system. That's why I always use the expression. If the trumpet does not sound clear and loud enough, no one will come out for war. That is to say, if safety information are not clearly stated, the purpose will not be fulfilled. What is information? Carrying out information is more than echoing word or is more than commanding people. One information can be passed to a different set of people. As a matter of fact, in your organization, in a company, not everybody have the same level because they are not carrying out the same responsibility. Nevertheless, the same information must reach everyone in a way that they should understand the reason for such information. Imagine that observing the protocols of COVID-19. There is a short video, but I can't show it now because it's going to disorganize things again. A man was offered a hand sanitizer. It is in the one of the village. He's an elderly man. He was offered a hand sanitizer to clean his hand. But can you imagine what happened? When they poured the hand sanitizer in his hand, he carried it right away in his face. He thought it was rubbing, he wanted to rub. And people say, no, 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 no. They talk in his dialect. That is not for rubbing face. And he thought that maybe it's to lick. And they say, no, no, it's not for licking. Because such person does not have the information that it is hand sanitizers. So the point is that within your working environment, information should be clearly labeled so that everyone, no matter how their level is, should understand the message the information is conveying, including visitors. To back up information, we have seen in one course that proper signs are designed to orientate things Imagine that deaf people come to visit your company. When you are calling them, they will not understand. Or if there is a sign, even this make us a reference to the illustration Mr. Richmond was using before that. When you ignore sign, then you go to a female toilet where it's supposed to be a toilet. This is a lack of information. So the information should be clearly stated. The same thing applies to the workers. The cleaner personnel, by not having ability to understand, like somebody in the management team that understand the paperwork because they do not have the same level. Nevertheless, any information that needs to be passed on to such a person should be clearly stated so that they get the information properly. If information is properly done, instruction make it easy. Or if failing to pass information on, instruction become a burden or burdensome or even confused. Instruction are mandatory. Instruction help to dictate what assignment need to be carried on. Instruction are designed to help achieve a task in an organized manner. Therefore, like information, instruction also need to be clear, penning in a clear and articulated word that bring the idea to need to be carried out. Failure to have a correct instruction, it will lead to a dangerous and a disheartening situation. Those who have ability to carry out instruction, as we have seen before, everybody should have the ability, every worker should have the ability to carry out instruction. And the best way to give instruction is sometimes to repeat or even to ask your opponent, the person you are carrying the instruction to, if you really understand. And also, we should not be shy by always saying yes, yes, yes to everything, just for saying yes sake. If you do not understand any instruction, it is your duty to ask, what is this instruction about? That's why most of the instruction need to be carried out according to the policies of the organization. Instruction needs to follow rules so that it can make it easy for everyone to carry out. Once we are carrying out instruction on several bases, it becomes a training. As I said the other day, I still want to emphasize it. Please, each time you have opportunity to be trained, always welcome it with your two hands. Each time you heard about training, always eagerly from your heart, involve yourself. Because if you are well trained today, you'll be able to carry out bigger tasks. If you are well trained today, it will help you to train others. And if you receive your training very well, it will help you to aim at zero accident. Most of the time, training should need to be carried out on face-to-face or on-job training. Involve all the workers in training. Do not select a set of people and offer them training by saying that others do not need such a training. Everybody needs to be trained, and especially emphasis should be put on those who have who receive a shift or who receive a transfer, those who have been transferred from one department to another department. Even if they have accumulated a lot of years in the company, they deserve training according to the new instruction because they are not performing the same task. So everybody needs to be trained. When disastrous incident occur, what should be the first saving measure? First saving measure come from first aid equipment. When we say first aid equipment, many people quickly think about the safety bus. Well, safety bus is necessary. But do you know that sometimes running to the safety bus is dangerous? Yes, it's very sad that people become a self-doctor or a self-physician. And when there is a strange situation, they will say run and give him this tablet or give me that tablet. I don't want to name them. But it's really wrong. Do not give someone a tablet or a medicine for the sake of trying to save him. No. Those who have the responsibility to administer safe aid should be people that are properly trained, and also the safe aid equipment should be available. Remember that first aid is not an alternative to the retreatment. Yesterday or 2 days ago, we have seen a health surveillance. And under health surveillance, you see the practices that need to be carried out. It's always proper to know the workers' health, to have the workers' health information, so that in case there is a complicated situation, it will help avoid what not to administer to them. But once again, in the health and safety policies, the first aid should clearly be appropriate and tailored to the hazard and risk associated to the job. Many people just go and buy a safety bus or white cross bus, we call it white cross bus, that consists of sparadrap, alcohol, and all those scissors and that. But please do not take it as habit by giving tablets to people when they were feeling, maybe they're having a headache, they just run to the safe aid bus and start administering them tablet. No. In some companies, the medical staff are the one that oversee first aid equipment, because they have received additional training exclusive for medical sector. So if you are not from that sector, do not rush. That's why it's always good to assign a particular job to an appointed person. Toilet and wash basin. Safety is cleanliness, and cleanliness is wet. Yes, cleanliness is wet as well. Toilet should be properly clean. Toilet should be properly clean to avoid contamination, especially to avoid being contaminated by bacteria. Washing basin should be available and in a large quantity to help achieve its purpose. And also they need to be stored in the appropriate place. Sadly, in some workplaces, you can't go to the toilet, which is really sad. Even the toilet environment need to be clean and preferably always kept close and clean. That's why it's always good. You see in some places, you see the tag that keep your toilet always clean and closed because your health is involved. Washing basin also should need to be, you need to have adequate washing basin to help a worker that need to make good use of it. They are not items that have to store other items like a boot. You carry your boot, you put in a washing basin, you carry your helmet, even you remove your PPE, you pack them in. It is not proper. Health and hygiene. Hygiene should be a proper concern to everyone in the workplace, even those who perform work that put them in contact with many substances. These are some situations that make you ill or that make you to contract a disease. We all agree that smoking is really bad, but still, a smoking company are making a lot of income every year. And sadly, those who claim that they are intellectual, or those who claim that they are safety practices also find them in a situation of smoking. Smoking is not good. Talk less of smoking too much. Even smoking for a while is not good because we all know the negative effects on our body. How active are you? At the onset, somebody gave the situation of someone, a worker or a friend, sitting for a prolonged period of time. Then imagine that you sit for a prolonged period of time in your workplace. Then when you close from work, you get in your car, you sit down, you drive, or somebody gives you a ride. You reach home, you sit down in your armchair, you take your meal, and you go back to bed, sleeping. Next morning, you wake up, go back to office, sleeping, sitting, performing your work, performing your work. You finish, you get in your car or you take a ride, and you go home, you sit down, watching television for many hours, you sleep. Next day, again and again, next day, again and again. Even during weekend, you keep sitting, watching TV. All worker must be an exercise practitioner. They need to always make good use of body movement. Practicing exercise is very good. Even it is always advised that you can practice exercise very often in a short period of time, rather than to wait for a particular day to practice a lot of exercise. That is an exercise in a cumulative hours. Walking, footing is the type of exercise that need to be carried out regularly. Some people, they have habit of going to gymnasium once in a week. Is good. Or even during those once in a week, they'll spend a lot of hours there. It's not bad. But the standard is that if you can have a short period of time of exercise very often during the week, it will do you benefit more better than going for one day in gymnasium and spend a lot of time there. Therefore, let us always carry out exercise as a routine work. We have also the syndrome of the phobia of not pleasing oneself. You know, social media have corrupted the mind of people, and many people admire all those glamorous actors and actresses from their body shape. there was in the time of history before, people view to be fat as an opulent way. That is an evidence of good living. So everybody wants to get fat. If you are not fat, they will liken you as a poor man or somebody that is not well fed or somebody that is not happy. So everybody wants to get fat. People try to take substances people try to overeat so as just to get a good shape. Now we are living in an era that slay queen are the one that people prefer. Slay queen. It became the expression slay queen. Nobody wants apuchu. Apuchu is fat. Nobody wants fat people again because fat is obesity. No, do not adopt such mindset. You need to feel good about your shape. There are some men that say they prefer fat women. There are some men that say they prefer slay queen. And because of that, people try to shape their body so as to please another person. But you are doing the wrong things. Do not be people pleaser. Please yourself. Take good care of yourself. Accept yourself the way God created you by taking good care of yourself, by feeling good. Here in some area, when women are pregnant, they like to wear a big cloth, bubu, just to a big cloth, we call them bubu, to cover the big tummy. But pregnancy is not a shame. Pregnancy is a privilege for a mother to carry a pregnancy. So what are you hiding? It's not when you are wearing a very large bubu that people will not know that you are pregnant. Nobody conceal pregnancy. So do not feel ashamed by covering yourself with like masculate. You carry bigger clothes just to pretend to covering your body. No. Feel good about yourself. Feel good about your shape. And the best way to feel good about your shape is by practicing good diet. Practicing good diet is also medicine. That's where people say, let your food become your medicine and let your medicine become your food. Our purpose here is not to incite you of adopting any particular regime. Like we know there are some people, they are vegetarians, there are some people, they eat everything. For example, me, I don't eat at night. I don't eat at night because I've chosen not to eat at night. When during the daytime, I take my breakfast, I take my lunch, finish. I don't eat anything at night. Because I think that this is the best way for me to keep myself okay. But it does not mean that people around me should not eat at night. Sometimes you hear people say that it's not good to eat late. Well, we are not here to judge anyone who not eat late at night or eat at night. No. Because we do not, although our system functions the same way, we do not have the same body resistance. Therefore, try to avoid much junk food. Eating junk food, even as it's stipulated, junk food is not a good habit. Eat a balanced diet. Make sure you consume a lot of vitamins. Make sure you consume a lot of nutrients that can help you fit. And also, depending on the type of job you do, you must try to eat with consistency. Try to eat a balanced diet. And also try to vary. And this is an habit we need to inculcate to our family. Let us try to vary our food. There is a statement that we learn from a particular type of tribe. I don't want to mention the name because it's not a discrimination. But people say that Eba makes strong, that is Gari makes strong. Most of us here know Gari. Even in China, it is called Gari. and good enough in China. Chinese also, they are producing gari from cassava the same way we do it in West Africa here. So gari, it is called gari worldwide. So the point is that when people say eba make strong, they can be eating eba throughout the whole day, almost a week without interruption. Or people say, I like swallow, I like amala, I like biscuit. But always try to vary your food. You are working, you must take good care of yourself. Alcoholism is another dangerous habit. Many people feel that when they take alcohol, they need to be happy, they need to be okay. But do you know that in the workplace, alcoholic beverage need to be prohibited? Yes. And if it is such in your workplace, please try to avoid alcoholic in workplace. And if you can avoid alcoholic beverage in your workplace, it means you can also avoid it. Do not make it an habit of drinking too much, because it does not do you good. And one of the points, even is boils down to what we discussed yesterday, worry is too much. Worrying is not bad. Worry is not bad. Sometimes when we worry, it helps us to do an assessment, risk assessment, it helps us to plan things very well. But when worrying too much, it becomes anxiety. And anxiety leads to depression and stress. We mentioned it yesterday. So anything that disturb your heart, disturb your inner peace, make it a concern of confide in a close friend. You confide in a close friend, you ask for solution. Do not become shy and keep it in yourself, because if you keep it for yourself, it's going to be worrying you. And more it worry you to distract your attention to carry out your assignment in the workplace, and at home you become a fierce dog, barking over everybody. Worries can lead to that. So always try to confide to people, and do not forget the power of meditation. And as I said before, those who are believers know how to turn to the supernatural power, that is God. You pray to God to help you to allay your anxiety. And as a Christian, there is a Bible verse that says that the Holy Spirit of God will overpower you and you find inner peace. So worrying too much is not proper. How can you handle acute or chronic disease or illness? For that, what you need to do to make sure that you are fitting is by referring to a medical assistance. If you have a contaminated disease, always make it known so that you can quarantine yourself. Quarantine yourself, you make an isolation for yourself for purpose sake, for good purpose sake. Having done all this, it will help you to make everybody, your workplace, safe. Now, the part that concerns is that a little bit of revision, it helps you to remember the things we learned from the beginning, so we will not spend our time over this, the signification, the definition of this term, like hazard, source of hazard. It has been stipulated throughout the courses. Conducting an hazard assessment. This is the first and the paramount things we need to do, that is risk assessment. We have mentioned hazard assessment consists of 4 steps. But do not feel confused when we mentioned earlier in one of our courses that risk assessment consists of 5 steps. Because here is about hazard, whereas in risk assessment, hazard is included. So the hazard included plus this one, it makes you the 5, that is, you need to identify the hazard, evaluate the exposure. But before you evaluate the exposure, you need to include a target that it might likely affect. The target that it might likely affect, that those who are prompt to those such hazards, then you evaluate the risk of exposure. Also, check if your existing measure to reduce the risk exposure are efficient. Then you continue monitoring the control measure. If they are not effective, you add. But always remember to apply the hierarchy of risk control. That is elimination, substitution, engineering control, administrative control, and the use of your PP. So here are some scenarios. They are exercise, training exercise. I will not ask you such a question. Manual handling. Manual handling permit me to show you just a minute. For manual handling, I have something that I want to share. Just a minute. Just a minute. There is a whiteboard animation I want to show about manual handling. That is really important. Just give me a minute. Let me.
Yes, and also normally when you have received everything I provided, then there is also a manual about manual handling.
Yes, yes. I have a whiteboard animation that I really want to show so that they can see. Yes, it's here. So just a minute. Let me show you. Okay. Just a minute. I'm coming on it. Manual handling.
Meanwhile, let me take the opportunity to thank Mr. Leon so much. You are our brick house, really. You are always there and always there to step in and so on. So I want to applaud you.
Okay, I've seen it. Let me share my screen. Just a few seconds. Yeah, okay. Share screen. Hope you can see my screen this time. Can you see the screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. Unit 5, hazardous substances is now. Okay.
Yes. Wait, no. Let me put it in the video. Voila, okay. So we'll be watching one by one. Then the whiteboard animation is designed to help you to bring the correct answer. That is to derive the point by yourself, okay? You will see the do's and don'ts. When you see a cross, which means this is not what you're supposed to do. Or when you see compliance mark, this is the proper things, right? I think you are following. Hope you are following. Yes. Okay, that's good. So these are what we should do. And sadly, as the whiteboard animation is passing, it's really shameful that we see some situation in a workplace, especially on site. You see some workers carry overloaded items. I've seen somebody carrying 7 bags of cement. And here, a bag of cement weighs 50 kg, 50 kilograms. The person carries 7. So which means he carries 350 kilograms on his head. He's proving that he's Rambo, that he can carry it. Well, he might carry it and have a showy display, but he's damaging his own body unaware to him. Therefore, whether at home, at workplace, let us view our body as very precious. Our body as very important and precious to us. It's something we need to cherish. That's why we see many people, they spend a lot of millions of pounds, millions of dollars to have a good shape. Yes, we need to take good care of our body by not jeopardizing our body through this inappropriate manual handling or lifting. So that's why this is what I want, the point I want to drive home through this whiteboard animating. So the one with a cross with do not do it, or the proper one is here, ask for help or use lifting equipment. So even this apply to each one of us. For example, the men, sometimes if you want to lace our shoe, what position do we stay to lace up, to brace up our shoes? Sometimes we just bend down and put on a leg. It's not proper. We need to find a stool and sit down. Make sure that we will not bend down too much. It applies to the worker that need to arrange things in the shelf. In the office, you need to make good use of leather and other things. So this whiteboard speak volume of what we need to do for body manual handling. So let me off it and we continue. Okay. So let me go back to where we were. So, okay. So I'm sorry. So manual handling consists of lifting, lowering, pushing, pulling, and carrying. So the factor we need to consider is the load, the individual capacity, the task, the environment, and the body position. So the whiteboard animation I showed, hope you are seeing the screen back. The whiteboard animation I showed summarize all the things we need to learn from here. Hazardous substances. Hazardous substances are very dangerous, and there are proper legislation that shows how we need to take good care of hazardous substances. We need to avoid breathing in hazardous substances. We need to avoid a close contact with our eyes, our body part. So how do we keep ourselves safe from chemical? There is a data sheet that we need always to follow. You need to know what you are working with, and those data sheets come with every substances. So anytime you have a new item, always check the data sheet provided by the manufacturer about the proper usage of it. How do you get, these are not questions you need to ask. Workplace sound, the difference between sound and noise. Sound is caused by the vibration of air particles like wave in the sea. When a sound wave enter the ear, they strike the eardrum, making it vibrate. Noise is an unwanted sound. So we all enjoy sound sometimes, music. When it becomes noises, it's no longer a good sound. So we need to avoid sound. And the best way we need to avoid sound is to eliminate the sound if possible. Those who work with machinery, if they cannot reduce the noise of the sound from the machine, they need to apply substitution. If they cannot eliminate the noise, they need to substitute with other machine. If the possibility is not there, they need to apply PPE. So that is applying the hierarchical way of control of risk. So there are some factors you need to consider when it comes to noise. You don't want to spend too much time on this. Machine equipment and hazard can be divided into categories. So the point is that read and obey all tags that you find placed on product, tool, and equipment. That's why it's always proper that when a new machine is bought, it's always good to keep a proper eyes on the instruction. Now, if you are not the one that have the ability to do that, let the competent person install the machine and by following the proper procedure. Personal protective equipment. Engineer Hafiz had made a good presentation on PPE. You don't want to dwell too much on PPE again. You know what is meant and it's the proper use. So as I was saying, course 109 is just a recap of all courses, working in confined space. Please, working in confined space is not designated for everybody. It's only for those who have been trained. Never joke with this. Yesterday, if you were listening to the news, there is a little boy that got trapped in Morocco and fall down in the well. And many people, he spent almost 5 days or something like that. They tried to secure him, to rescue him, but definitely he died after his rescue. So time for question. So not everybody have the ability to work in a confined space like that, because there are many hazardous situations that is involved, and those who are only trained that can work on a confined space. So we move on. Emergency in case of fire. Let us remember the 3 possibilities we have. When there is a fire outbreak, the first thing that let us fight the fire to stop the spreading. So fight the fire, right? You need to fight the fire. When we fight it, we have been properly trained. Remember, John Flynn mentioned is only when you are trained to fight the fire. If you can't fight it, you call for help. Call for help. You call for help, and the person's ability to fight it can help fight while you are safe. Now, the third case is that if you can run away, then you forget everything and run away. That is run away. You need to escape. But by the time that you have no choice, now you need to fight it before escape. So you need to fight it. That's why you need to be a courageous when it comes for fire outbreak. Sometimes you need to invite the paramedic, the paramedic to come for rescue. But the point is that we should always listen to instruction. Always listen to instruction so that to obey the wording when he gives you a direction, because he knows the escape routes. Escape routes also need to be marked correctly, clearly, so that everybody can follow it out in case of an evacuation. So we don't want to spend much time on it. So dear ladies and gentlemen, you see how far we can go for tonight, but I could have loved that Sam will be here. Sam presentation is not feasible. It was from Sam presentation that I bring out the whiteboard animation. He's well skilled and he has made himself available to attend his class. But sadly, unforeseen situation occurred and we are not able to see. Nevertheless, course 109 is a type of recap of all the courses we have done, except course 102. Tomorrow we're going to have course 102. So the room is open up to you to ask questions. I know that I cannot pretend that I've done it in the best way because I was not prepared to take it, because Mr. Sam have an assistant as a backup, but sadly network does not allow. Those of the 2 of them are the chief in control for that. So I just try to not waste your time to show. So you can ask your question, and if anyone has input, you can bring in. The floor is open. I know Mr. Shams didn't want to add something. He's eager. You can unmute yourself, sir. Yeah, please. Yeah. Let Mr. Shams Dean first before Chaos.
Good evening, Mr. Leon. How are you?
I'm fine, sir.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening.
I actually don't have much to say because
we are happy that your voice.
Because I've been on a drive since when the class started. I just came in. I've been on a trip. So I wish everyone well, and it has been a nice class. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution. Let me quickly go.
The future was listening. I hope they learned as well.
Mr. Gayos, you can unmute yourself, sir. First of all, we apologize for the poor quality due to the network. Even myself, I was not feeling fine because of the network.
Right.
We apologize. Okay, Gayos, you have
All right, sir. Thank you very much for the opportunity given to me, and I really appreciate you for the best presentation ever. But please, I have a little issue when it has to do with the signs, emergency signs.
Yes.
We're meant to understand that we have some signs which are warning signs and some signs, caution signs. But in most cases, as a safety manager, how do you get to identify those signs? But because of time, I think I will plead with you to maybe send those signs across to our mails so that we can see those signs that are emergency signs, caution signs, so that if we see those signs, we can easily identify them. Because just telling us, sometimes we may not really know the ones that are emergency signs and the ones that are caution signs. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. We assure you that we have a lot of signs. Let's develop categories of signs. I believe engineer Afif also doing his presentation develop signs, because signs are okay.
Excuse me, Mr. Gaius. I wonder whether you have looked at your manual already, because you will have exams. It is in the manual which color, which shape, and so on. That's primary school stuff. You know which shapes they are. But I will get my the presentation. I gave this presentation before, and I'll get my file up concerning the signs.
Okay. But meanwhile, we will provide you when okay. Hafiz.
Yeah, Mr. Leon, yes, to the delegates, that's the reason you need to see the material which is provided. You will know, because it is very important. It is not just for your awareness, means to send you the signs, and you should know these sanitary safety symbols, the signage, they have a proper, the logic, the signs. You will see some red signs, some red and yellow, yellow and black, blue and white, we see many. You should know what is the sign for wearing the mask, how it will be, what color it will be, will it be red or blue or something, because there are different actually type of signs. And we in one course we have discussed this. It is there in the syllabus that what is actually why signs have different colors. Some signs are compulsory, means they are essential to follow. Some are warning signs, some are signs are they are direction signs, means so this you go to the literature and you see them there. And meanwhile, definitely with the lectures we try to provide them this slides, right? With the videos we can provide them so that they can watch the videos, and they can have the presentations or this any helping material, reference materials which are available. We will make them available with the videos as well. So this is very important, and which is good. Means the thing is that they want to know something, and here we are to share, to let Mr. James know that it is. And not only you need to see the signs visually, you need to know them, but you also should have some little bit in-depth knowledge that what kind of signs are there, and why there are different color for signs. Because in standard ISO science of sciences sizes, signs, there are colors. There is blue and white we see everywhere. We see blue, yellow color signs. We see the combination of red and white sort of thing. So they are different signs, different colors, and there is a science behind them. That means science means these are fast and hard rules that how the signs are made, how they are introduced for that. And definitely general science we will provide so that you have general awareness. Thank you.
Can I step in now?
Yes.
So
Please.
I'll share my screen. This was my presentation, and it is in your manual, your course manual, your course book. This information is in your course book. The prohibition signs are red and white and a circle. You have learned in school what a circle and a triangle and so on is, so you already know what it is. Next to that, you also have traffic signs. Sometimes you have traffic going around. Traffic signs are also, just like these signs, international, like these pictograms. Yes, there can be aberrations. And as you can see, it is a pictogram together with text, because not everybody is literate. And the reason why some signs are, well, why signs have a different shape and a different color. Can somebody from the class answer me that? Why do they have different shapes? Is there anybody who knows? Let me ask another question. Why is traffic lights in traffic? Why is it always the same? Is it always the same? The red on top, and then the orange, yellow in the middle, and then the green, which means driving, is on the bottom. Why is that? That's the same reason as there are circles and triangles and rectangles and so on. Is there anybody who knows? Well, since I don't hear anybody answer.
Nobody raise up hand.
There are also a lot of people, men, that are colorblind. And that is the reason why they have a specific shape and specific colors. So, and you would say, but there are two kind of circles. Well, one is blue and the other one is red with white. They can see different kinds of gray. So that is one of the reasons that they have different shapes and colors. As said, there are many signs out there, and sometimes, well, it is important that everybody knows. And if you think your employees do not know the meaning of all those international signs, they are used all over the world. They're all over the world the same. Like this warning sign that says that you have to pay attention. These are traffic signs. Like the stop sign in traffic, they're everywhere in the world, they are the same. Now, why should they know that? Because otherwise they will make their own story. What people don't know, they will use their fantasy to make their own story. And their own story will always be 100, maybe 1,000 times more bad than what it actually is intended. So this is a joke that is based on those traffic signs, but that is the reason why you should know. Also, I mentioned in the former slide that there is the REACH poster for chemicals. Please, you should look at your material, people. I don't think that this is a class for people that should be held by their hand. Open your textbooks.
Thank you very much, Alice, for your contribution. Okay, Mr. Shams, your hand is up. Maybe you want to add. Mr. Shams Dean, yeah.
Hello, sir. Thank you very much. I'm not so very clear on the reasons why the Ms. Els just said about the cycles and the triangle shapes on the signs, please. Thank you.
That people, men, that there are many men who cannot see colors. I don't know if you know a bit of biology, the difference between women and men. Biology, we see more colors than men. And reason is that I think it's genetically, but only man can be colorblind. So if I'm not mistaken, because it's connected to the Y chromosome. So man gets colorblind, women don't get colorblind because it's not on the X chromosome. So the reason why red is on top with a traffic light and yellow, orange is in the middle and green, which means drive, is on the bottom, is everywhere the same. It means everywhere the same, no matter what the color is. So that people that are colorblind and cannot see the difference between red and green, usually it's red and green, then they can still know that if the bottom light is on, they can drive. If the top light is on, they should stop. And that's the same reason why a triangular sign means attention, and a round sign with a round circle around it means forbidden, and so on. And I'm sorry, my battery is almost, I have to plug it. And a blue sign, I lost it now, that there are signs for prohibition and for obligation and so on. Learn the words. Obligation means you have to. Prohibition means you cannot. Those are important things. In the beginning of this course, people spoke about the law. You need to know and understand everything that is in the law, for example, too. And you need to know what's in the law internationally and locally, also in your country or your surroundings, your locality. Internationally, we have these signs. So it's important you should know as a citizen of the world what these signs mean. In traffic also, whether you are driving or you are a pedestrian or a cyclist. It doesn't matter, you need to know them. By the way, also the REACH thing about the chemicals, you should know because everybody uses cleaning products, for example. You should know what is in it and what the dangers are for your health. Is that an answer enough, Mr. Shamsuddin?
Yes, Ms. Wells, thank you very much. Well understood. Thank you.
But by the way, before we close, permit me to add that sometimes green stands for conformity. Green stands for conformity, that is what is lawful. Then red is a prohibition, as he said. When you see red sign, which is non-conformity, you see. So I will say green light give us go ahead. So thank you very much, all of you that contributed to tonight's section. Once again, I apologize that we have loved that it will be a better way. That is namely from Mr. Sam. I know why I keep on hanging on it. It is not to make you homesick or to make you nostalgic, but just because we want to give you the better, the best. Sadly, network does not allow. Thank you very much. We really appreciate you have passed a lot of time, have passed by. Anyway, we really appreciate you. Thank you very much. Tomorrow we're going to do something very wonderful. We have one of our experts. We're going to handle course 102. Course 102 is going to be the last course we're all going to have together. So please be prepared and give your due attention as you always do. Having said this, we are about to bring our meeting to its end. Our class to its end. So we want to first of all apologize and also commend you for being a good person and stay. So let us ask, so I will give opportunity to someone to close this meeting and try to find, Engineer Idioma. Please, madam, you have the privilege to bring the meeting come to its end. in the place of Governor Dibet. Okay. You can unmute yourself, madam. Engineer Idioma, please, can you unmute yourself? Maybe she's not closer to her system. Okay. And let us ask Mr. Timilein, Emmanuel. Can you unmute yourself to conclude? Or maybe I'm not audible.
No, we can hear you.
Okay.
It's selective deafness.
We can hear you.
Okay. So I was trying to ask Mr. Timilein Emmanuel to unmute himself to bring maybe his network. Yes, his network.
Mr. Francis, I'm sorry, but we cannot hear you.
No, Mr. Francis was trying to say that it's the network that is disturbing, and really is true. So let's go back then. We need to go back to class governor. She's here. Let her shut the meeting down.
Miss Janet, are you back again? Because
yes,
I let her into the room, so maybe she hasn't connected completely yet.
Good evening, all. I am back. Oh, I am back, but not happy. My phone just went off, and I've been trying since then to come back online. It refused to power. I just powered it on now and decided to check and see that the class is still on. In fact, I have really missed everything tonight. I am not happy about it. I don't know what happened to my phone. So I'm so sorry. I don't know what to do. But thank God I'm back online. I believe the class will.
Mr. Janet, sorry to interrupt you, but we know what to do for you. We're trying to make this available for you, recorded session, right, Mr. Leo, so that you will not miss anything. You can go and check what we have. And normally this code 109 was a recap of all the sessions. Means health, safety, culture, policies, and PPEs, and then fire safety and this all stuff. So it was a recap sort of thing. But even though you will be having that, and hopefully you will have this recorded session, and you will know that what you have missed, and it will be no more missed. You can have that.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I am so sorry, Miss Janet. I think I know what we can do to make it up to you. Mr. Leon will perform a dance now.
Thank you.
Sadly, I am a bit sad because the way I anticipated the class to be completely the opposite, you know. So I myself, I'm sad. So since I'm sad, else gonna soften my heart by else gonna soften my heart by dancing instead of me. So I'm really sad.
We know you practiced earlier. You can make everything up by dancing now for us.
So on which music will I dance? I'm a bad dancer.
Mr. Hafiz will sing for us. Then you can dance.
That's very good because I like Oriental song. Oriental song. So once he can sing, I will dance.
Yeah, no, this time we can play some Arabian music for them, right? And some belly dance from Mr. Leon, and you know, yeah. Tomorrow we are going to have this dancing session. Regarding the exam. Yeah. So we rock and dance over there.
Yes.
And
or why not keep everything for Friday, since Friday is going to be the overall section. And
no, it doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't work that way. You should move regularly. We learned that in class today.
Yes, I know.
no, yeah, Fridays. Sorry. We have Fridays planned.
Yeah.
Thinking
now, Friday is gonna be beautiful.
Now for me, it's already Thursday, right? Half an hour past. So I am in Thursday. Maybe you guys are sitting in Wednesday or something like that. So I am going to do that on Friday, sort of thing. That is the reason I was telling.
That's very good. Thank you.
We have Thursday tomorrow all day, and then we can do that on Friday, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we will do this on Friday.
Friday we have the all day. So, dear delegate, prepare yourself. I want to see you dancing and shake your body. Yes, good.
Yeah, definitely. It should be, you know. The guys, delegates they are showing a lot of patience. They are, you know, for hours and hours, they are listening to Mr. Leon, and then on top of that, they have to tolerate me. Yeah, and thanks to Miss Els, if means she's there, so that they can have some time, relax, and they can feel good. But when we guys are there, they are tolerating us. Literally means too much 2 hour talks with us. And definitely they have to inhale, digest a lot of things, because the things are, when things are new, they have to, you know, pick up on all things. So for them, we will have on Friday a session, how they will tackle the exam and how it will look like. And I am very highly thankful to delegates for their patience. And, you know, in this, we are all together, you know. This is some heaven, means something from heaven, this network stuff. You know, this is heavenly course on us. You know, that in Africa, Asia, it goes like that. And if it goes here, then Miss Els, she also have to get disconnect. So that is very good with technology. If I will lose the internet, Miss Els cannot connect with me, even if she have 6G, 5G or 7G generation internet, right?
Yeah.
So it's okay. It's how we have to live, like we are living with the COVID. So we are living with this technology stuff. But I am sure at least we got this stuff thanks to this all the online stuff. We will now definitely we will bring all the lectures online. The sessions will be recorded so that this thing can be tackled. And of course, there we will have more input. If they will watch, they can do the comments and everything. So it is good thing. And hopefully by Friday, we will bring most of the lectures to the audience, and definitely for 2 days for delegates. Because today we have a lot of trouble, network problem with people, and many people missed it. So who are very regular, like Mr. Janet. So definitely we will bring it back by, yeah, to now it's Thursday and Friday. My tomorrow and your next day. Okay, thank you all. You will have lectures, Mr. Janet. Hopefully you will not miss anything.
So everybody can unmute itself, and we want to say bye to ourselves as we meet tomorrow. Do not feel sad, feel okay. Tomorrow we're gonna meet. Mr. Ume, engineer, Ahmed, everyone.
Francis,
those who are having lunch, try to invite me so that though I don't eat at night, I'll especially try to taste your food.
Mr. Foljo, Onizi,
thank you all. And meanwhile, grease your voice and your joints. So we
please just show us. I know you will be bored or something like that, but just you know, even the kids, they will be full of energy when they know now it's time to leave the school. So it's like that. Now we are just leaving, so now just cheer up.
That's very good. Thank you
Have
very
a
much.
Good night.
Good
I
night.
hope it's
yes,
now around 9
everybody.
over there as well.